Yes. What is good, my people? Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Taurus. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome to week 125 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Shout out to my man, Gemini 4D, for that intro. Still loving that joint. We got a couple more weeks of using that. Then we're going to move on to something else. What are we doing? Well, you know what? Before we go there, let me give apologies on two things. One, for the podcast being a little late this week, and that actually feeds into the second one. The reason why it's late is because I don't have video this week. Webcam is acting up, and I think I may have to just buy another one. So hopefully we can get that rectified before next week's podcast. But apologies on being late. Apologies for having no video. And, we will, in the future, definitely keep things on Mondays and keep video as often as possible. All right, that's the goal. All right, what are we doing? So, within the last couple of weeks, first of all, 2016 has been crazy. It has been absolutely crazy. It's been a number of things. For people like myself, it's actually been somewhat of a success as far as business and getting things, taken care of. One of the best business years I've had so far. I'm very appreciative of that, and for everybody who has taken part of that. But in another way, it has been it's like an end of an era. I would say that. I would take somebody else's term and say an end of an era, because we are losing so many great human beings. And it started like right at the end of 2015, and then it has continued every month. We're losing like major people, and not just human, not just athletes, not just entertainers, not just, people of status. I'm talking about human beings, great human beings. And we lost another great human being. Some would say the greatest, our big brother, Muhammad Ali. We lost him within the last couple of weeks, and that's pretty devastating for some. For the rest of us, it's actually kind of assuring, because we look up to Muhammad Ali and everything he has done within sports, within entertainment, human rights, civil rights. Just as a man, black man walking the earth, we look up to him. And for the last, I guess I could say about 20 years, he has been suffering from a number of disorders, and now he's at peace. So, I want to take this time to say rest in peace to the big brother. And thank you for everything that you have done. But our loss of him has actually inspired one of my plans that I wanted to do this summer. And we're back to doing the summer movie extravaganza. How did I call it? At the movies. Where last year we took on 3 genres of movies. And this first one is called Documentary. And we did this one last year. It turned out very nice. And when we lost Big Brother Ali, I was like, well, we got to go ahead and do this one again. So the object of this particular assignment is to create the soundtrack to a documentary or a biography, or however you want to say it. And it can be about anybody. But from the looks of it, a number of people have actually taken on Ali. So I want to get to that right now, get things started. And we're going to kick things off with our man, No One You Know, who has been doing his thing since he came on. I'm very, very happy to say that. So let's get into No One You Know. Let's see what he's doing. Yes, sir. No One You Know. Taking on Ali for his particular documentary soundtrack. It was actually a pretty cool track. It was cool. I don't know what to say about this one. I want to say I was expecting more, but I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting. It's just, again, with me, one thing that kind of annoyed me in this one, and I've not necessarily his submissions, but in other submissions, what annoys me is repetitiveness. And it's like, it's kind of the same sounds throughout, even though he's changed, he changed the snare and he's switched the pattern on the high synth. But for the most part, it was kind of the same thing all the way out. And he said he sampled from the older documentary Ali, The Greatest. That was a long time ago. That might have been about 30 years ago. I remember seeing that when I was a child or something like that. It was a long time ago. But he said he pulled that out and pulled samples from it and, injected that into the song. And the song itself is not bad, but I'd really, really, really would have liked to have heard more. Because he had a lot of samples just kind of repeating for long periods of time, and he'll eventually take them out and bring other things in, switch them up, and then go back to the originals. Like, okay. The beat itself is cool. The samples kind of didn't do it for me. But overall, it's okay. It's okay. I know no one is, still getting used to this kind of stuff that we do. And he said himself, this was a very tricky one for him. But this is what it's all about. You take a stab at it, and, you're either going to kill it or you're going to, I don't want to say fail, because he didn't actually fail, but you know what I'm saying. But, you fail if you never participate. You fail if you never take a shot. I tell you that. So shout out to him for at least jumping in there. I definitely would like to see this go in a couple of other places, at least one more different place, to where it really changes up the song and does something else different. Because just to have the little snippets of stuff, but then he could have also just had like a 20, 30 second speech, so to speak, like a segment of them speaking to him. You could have did something like that and changed the music up under it and made it a little different. Either way, let me get off of this one. No One. Thank you, my man. All right, we're going to go out to the West Coast. Holla at my man, eHustle. Yes, eHustle, my dude representing Las Vegas now, originally from Compton, doing his thing. Now, I have to admit, I was thrown off in the beginning because I'm listening to the track and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I went back and I read his submission again, and now I understand where he was going with that. First of all, track is actually cool. I really like the track. I like that. And again, E is stepping his game up with the sequencing, the type of instruments he uses, the patterns, the different change-ups or different sequences. However, he's stepping his game up with that. Now, I will say this, E. The mix was a little hot, meaning a little loud and a little distorted. So you might want to watch that in the future, because I did have to turn the volume down on that. You won't hear it so much on your end, but I definitely had to turn it down on my end. But yeah, that part of the game was actually pretty cool. And like I said, I was a little confused, but I do understand what he was going with now. He said, my scene takes place in training where the 808 is the hard punch and the other vocal sound is the combo or jabs being thrown. I get that now. Okay, because he didn't say anything about Muhammad Ali. I'm assuming that's just where he went. But then he's talking about the way the drums hit are supposed to symbolize or represent, certain punches being thrown. That's cool. I like that. I really like that. Now, what would have made that work? Well, not to say that it didn't work. What I would have added personally is maybe a little, as I was saying, with no one, just a little small thing, maybe in the beginning where Ali is talking trash to somebody. You know what? I'm going to knock you out. And then come in, boom, God, that kind of stuff. That would have been really dope. I think that really would have brought the track out. And then you wouldn't have to go back and try to figure out what's going on. I think that would have definitely brought it. But I like what you did with this one, E. Like I said, at first it threw me off, but I totally understand and I appreciate what you did now. So shouts out for that, my man. Thank you. All right, moving on. We're going to go over to the East Coast. Holla at my man in Maryland, RayGene. Wow. RayGene does it again, my man. Now, let's talk about it. I got to ding him a little bit, and it's not actually a bad ding. I have no idea who that is supposed to be for. At least he did not say in the submission. So like I said, it's not a bad thing at all. It just would have been nice to say, oh, this is for this, and this is why it sounds this way. But no big deal. However, the music, the execution, the way it was structured and it built up and it turned into a full song towards the end, incredible. That is actually movie music right there, big time. This could be placed, and again, it's not why, like I said, it's not like a huge ding, but this can be placed pretty much in any standard type of movie, drama, or it can be used for a documentary. So that's what I really, really like about it. That can be, some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Montage. That could be, a very dramatic part of the movie. That can be the ending credits. However, very, very dope. Love how he put it together. I love how it began, how it built up, how it evolved, and especially how it ended, because you would expect, since it all kicked in around the 205, around that area, where everything kicked in, and you would actually expect it to continue to go after that, but he cuts it off. Like, I'm gonna give you just enough and I'm done. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I love that. There's a lot of things you can do within music, stuff that I call studio magic, so to speak, that are just very simple, and they really evoke emotion out of your crowd, of your listeners, I would say that. So shouts out to RayGene, for that. That was pretty dope, my man. Very, very nice. Thank you. All right, let's head back out to the West. Holla at my dude who just celebrated another birthday. So he's 25 again. Happy belated birthday to my man, Gemini 4D.
Will you welcome, please, Muhammad Ali.
That's bad. Only last week, I done wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning. Those onions fail. 22 million black people in America. Who would you say our everyday common enemy is? Martin Luther King is bumped off unjustly. Adam Clayton Powers bumped off unjustly. They took Mark Taylor unjustly. They killed Megas Ever unjustly.
Kept it short and sweet. Gemini 4D. Yo. Take notes. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there. Right there. He did it. He absolutely did it. That was dope. I love the intro. I love the beat that it had in the beginning. I love the different speech, parts of speech that he had and the way he chopped them up in certain places. And then once it actually changed to an entirely different beat, woo, that was dope. That was very dope. Both segments were very, very dope. I love the way this sounds. Gemini has a certain signature sound that I'm beginning to hear. I don't know if everyone else is, but I'm beginning to hear certain grooves and certain swings and instruments that he, goes back to, that he uses when he does his submissions, and it comes off beautiful. It really does. Really, 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 really dope. I did really enjoy this, my man. I love this. And then in the second pattern, once they got to the second part, I should say, it still had another change up in there. So that's what I'm talking about. Executing, dude. This is about, when we do the WHA, this is about making beats. But at the same time, it's about learning and implementing new stuff into what you do so you can make better music. It's not just, just making just making a beat this particular week. It's not just about that. So when we go off and do these other genres or these other different sectors of music or whatnot, you're still supposed to execute all the stuff that we learned in the prior weeks into these particular weeks, because those were developmental. Now it's about expanding and evolving and actually implementing that stuff into your music. So props to Gemini for handling that business, dude. Good Lord, that was dope. Thank you, sir. All right, going back to the East, but then down South, holla at my dude, DJ Lockturnal.
By one estimate, nearly 50,000 veterans will experience homelessness each year.
Post-traumatic stress disorder post-traumatic stress disorder.
I was homeless because I never fit in nowhere.
Strained relationships with friends and family, and the difficulties vets can have landing jobs after coming home.
How long have you been out on the streets?
About 9.5 years, give or take.
We need to talk to the homeless veterans on the street. We need to understand what happens to someone who comes home from war.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
In Afghanistan or Iraq.
The situation continues overseas, and so we often don't know what to make of our veterans or how to feel about them.
You just need to get somebody's attention, the leadership.
Woo! Good Lord. DJ Lockturnal, my man. Now, this is how you do it, okay? Now, and I got to bring up RayGene again, because, I had no idea what exactly, or, what exactly he was representing with his beat, even though it was great. I enjoyed his submission. But Lockturnal sends in his submission and doesn't say anything again. But I know exactly what's going on, the message he's representing, or the documentary that he's hosting, I'll say that, within his beat. And it is beautifully executed. No one. This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about right here, dude. Having these different sections of taken from the news and other documentaries or whatever it may be. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So take note, please. This is nice. I love this submission. Lock, oh my God, this dude is phenomenal. He continues to do it. He's here every week. Like I said, he will be here, I think this would be 2 years. Around this time, matter of fact, it was either June or July when he joined in 2014. So this is 2 years now, I believe. And this dude has grown tremendously. And now he's delivering stuff like this. This was perfectly executed. Shout out for the content matter, tackling veterans with PTSD and homelessness and being, under-recognized or underprivileged when they get home from service. That is a huge issue in this country, and it needs to be addressed, and it has been addressed, but unfortunately not to the level that it should be. It hasn't been eradicated yet. It hasn't been corrected. But I don't know exactly what inspired this, but I'm actually happy it did, because this is dope. I love the way Locke took care of it. For real. The intro, the beat when it actually kicks in, and of course is Locke. Once again, Locke is to that point where he knows who he is. He knows what the hell he's doing. And he goes through the motions of having the different sections and the change ups and drops and mutes. And, now with this one in particular, interweaving the speeches in and out and whatnot. Dude, dope. Beautiful, dude. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that. Good Lord. All right, let's go holler at my dude, Taurus Beats. Man, what the hell is going on? Seriously. What? Taurus Beast. Good Lord, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? My man. That was beautiful. Now, unfortunately, he didn't tell me what that was all about, but it was a beautiful submission. Jeez, dude. I love this one. And there hasn't been anything that I did not love by Taurus. Truth be told. He brings it every single submission. He does. He does. This is nice. And very similar to RayGene's, it can be multi-purpose. It can be used, again, I definitely see this in a documentary fulfilling some purpose. That's one thing I can say about it. It definitely fits. But at the same time, it does have a commercial feel. It does have a elevator music feel as well. It also has just a cinematic feel in general, especially the way he uses brass in his submissions. And that very last blast at the very end, that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about with his brass. That was beautiful. Overall, I don't have anything else to say, man. This thing is absolutely nuts. Man. And again, like I said, it can be attached to a documentary of, I want to say pretty much any type, but this could definitely be like the ending music leading up to the credits or whatever. After we've seen whoever it is or whatever subject it is, we've seen all the stuff that they've gone through, the downfall, the build up, but now we've reached the end to where things are going a little bit better. They fulfilled, they've gone through all the garbage, and now it's time to start living life the way it should be. I definitely see this fulfilling that purpose. So shout out for that, my man. Just would be nice to know if you were actually attaching this to a particular athlete. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just happened to look over at the submission, and the name of the track has Ali in it. My man, thank you. All right, never mind everything that I just said. Taurus, my dude, thank you, sir. All right, and closing out episode 125. Let's go holler at Sho-Nuff.
And he had found out how to say killing in their language, which was Boumaye.
Muhammad got that Ali Boumaye chant going right from the get-go. He was the hero. The other guy was the enemy. George was the enemy.
I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude. Bad. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. Fast. You, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I'm whooping. All of you, I know you got it. I know you know this man is gonna whoop George Foreman, and I'm gonna whoop him of all places in Africa, in the Congo, where the Lumumba boys are. Africa, my home turf. That's right, and if you come over there talking like that, we'll cook you. television show, you was a little old hustler running around before you came up here one day. Now look at you. So somebody told you. Didn't I tell you you'll never be nothing, and you're not as good as David Susskind, or you're not as good as Eamon Andrews, or you can't make it like Harry Carpenter? Didn't I tell you that? Now look at you about #1 man around here, but you had to work up.
Would you have been so great if you hadn't have been so pretty?
This is really something. This is going too far. You're so pretty.
Well, you said it yourself.
No, I just say that to make people mad. They come to see me get beat up, but I don't really think I'm pretty. I know I'm pretty.
Yes. Sho-Nuff closing out episode 125 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. My man. I like that a lot. I love the number of, the length of, and the quality of vocal snippets he used in this particular submission. There was a lot of them, but they were great, and they were different from different sources, different interviews, and I'm pretty sure it was a documentary or two in there. That Sho-Nuff took this from. But I love how this was executed, where I really appreciate this one in particular, because you could have the different changes with the music and everything evolve. And this one was very subtle as far as the music and the change-ups, even though there was some slight changes in there and different things happening with the background music. But the foreground, what's sitting on top of them with the vocal stuff, it needed to be muted a little bit in the background in order for those to be heard, for the vocal stuff to be heard and appreciated. So I really appreciate that. This is actually something like I've heard on a number of different albums, especially from back in the day, like Public Enemy or whoever else. They would make songs that were like skits almost, where it was like an instrumental part that was actually pretty dope, but they have all these different vocal chops on top of them. Not chops, but segments and whatnot on top of them, from news clips or whatever, interview, whatever. So this is a throwback to that kind of stuff right there. I really appreciate that show. But again, music was on point. I love the way it was toned down a little bit, and then you had all the stuff on top of it. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. And if I'm not mistaken, there was another part. It wasn't here. It was in a separate email where he was saying it took him back to when he was young and he would actually watch fights with his pops or his grandpops. I can't remember which one it is. I apologize. But he would watch fights with one of his elders and watch Ali fights. And he just spoke on how this actually took him back to that. And that's what got him in, that's what inspired him and got him in the groove to actually create this. So I'm happy that happened for you. That took you back to some good memories. Because trust me, I got a lot of good memories with my pops. Trust me, of doing stuff just like that. So yeah, major shout out on that, my man. And again, giving massive love to the great Muhammad Ali. Thank you for everything that you have done for humanity. I'm going to leave it at that. Shout out to Sho-Nuff, Taurus Beats, DJ Lockturnal, Gemini 4D, RayGene, eHustle, and No One You Know. And also thank you, the watcher, the listener, the people who rock with us every single week. If you enjoyed this particular video and podcast, please give the video a thumbs up, share it to your social media, let people know what you're listening to and what you enjoy every single week. Let them know that damn good music is being made still, because trust me, it ain't all crap. And maybe I should switch out the C for a T. Anyhow, and if you would like to be a part of what we do here, be amongst the great talent pool that is at CMA, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It is that simple. I'm done for the week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time. See ya.